Ordry in the council. All right, so that was 245. The next one, 246, is a bond ordinance regarding Westbrook Lane storm sewer work. So this is $170,000.
I got something to say about this one.
All right.
With the new construction going on at the traffic circle, we might want to hold off on this because it is drainage, and that construction could affect the drainage here. It's right by, it's right in that location, maybe a few 10, 15 feet, 30 feet from that location. And we may be able to, and since there's going to be drainage for the traffic circle, we may be able to tie in to the traffic circle drainage at a much cheaper price than $170,000.
Traffic circle at I-587?
At the end of Colonel Chandler Drive. No, the one on the end of Broadway.
Yeah, 587.
Yeah, 587.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the roundabout.
Have you talked to anybody about that? If there were,
Hey, I don't know where
was it
Westbrook Lane storms.
a drainage issue?
Westbrook Lane goes down to Herzog's. This
Yes.
is Plaza Road.
Yeah.
It's not near 587.
This is, it's not the same thing.
Well, would it? I mean, we
So
don't-
it wouldn't affect?
It's not
The
connected.
pipes, when I spoke to people about this issue, the drainage is coming from near the Governor Clinton Hotel. That's what it's called still? The Governor Clinton Hotel, and by the Academy Green there, and it's draining down behind, down into Herzog's, down into a pipe, and out into the Herzog's lumber yard. And in the lumber yard, there's some flooding problems from the drainage, and that's part of this problem. So what we're doing is we're taking this drainage, from what I understand, when I spoke to months and months ago about this, is that the drainage goes right down behind the Governor Clinton Hotel, across Westbrook Lane, and then down into the lumber yard, and then there's a catch-all there that goes out into the middle of the parking lot there, then underneath the barber shop and into the creek. So I'm thinking with the new circle going in there, and all the construction going on, we may be able to just tie this pipe right into some of that drainage and get it right out of there for a lot cheaper than $170,000. We might want to look at that. Anyhow,
Yeah.
just a thought.
Have reached, so yeah, this is something we have to reach out to the engineering department.
Have you talked to the engineer?
I have not. I just thought about it right now, as I was sitting here. Sorry about that, Andrew. Just came to me right now. I did not think about it before this moment.
When we talked about this before, I believe we had some discussion about that. And these are not, as far as I understand, they're not connected systems. I mean, it's not, these pipes are not directly connected to those others, I believe. Do you have any?
I don't want to answer for the engineering department.
Okay.
And John Cena.
How sensitive is this to timing if we were to kick it back
He doesn't know.
and let it go to engineering? I mean, we might have a good idea, I don't know, but
Well, we're already into the project.
We are?
Increased
Yeah,
authorization
we have-
borrowing from 265.
We received the
40.
bids, and just haven't awarded the contract, so we're already in it. Do you want to call John real
It's not
quickly and see if
necessarily
we can?
265
was previously authorized.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as of the date of October 16th.
I won't be spending money we don't need to.
Necessary to rebid this work. So on this letter, he said it's now necessary to rebid the work. And that was October 16th, 2019, so it hasn't gone out to rebid.
But also, I mean, Patrick, this is based on some people you talked to.
Yeah, that's still, it's a good question. I mean, I don't know if it came up during
Well, I'm
finance
just
or
wondering, like,
whatever.
what's their expertise?
I had to,
Do we have
when I was here at a
any-
meeting, they talked about where the pipes go. I asked them where the pipes come from and where they
Yeah.
go to. They come from like near the Academy Green right there, and then they go all the way down behind the Governor Clinton Hotel. You were here. They go all the way down behind the Governor Clinton Hotel and across Westbrook Lane and into the Herzog's
Yeah.
yard, and there's some problem in the yard, a flooding or something like that happening in the yard, which I believe is the reason for this new pipe, and then it goes into a drainage into the center of the plaza and then out into the creek. It seems like a long way for that stuff to go if we're having all new sewer pipes and things like that put in underneath the circle, which is about 30 feet away from it. I don't know. I just thought about that right now. Sorry.
Yeah, again, it doesn't say that it states in this letter that, and attached from John, that he has to rebid this. And we plan to bid the two projects together as one contract. That was dated October again, 2019. Right.
Right, but Finance Committee previously authorized the 265 for this.
In
Was that-
2018,
I mean,
yeah.
was that a question at that time when this was authorized?
No,
Or are we,
Right.
I didn't have that question I didn't have that question at this time.
This
I
is
did have
fine.
questions about, why the drainage has to go so far. I mean, it's a huge
Yeah.
amount of distance to drain this area by the Academy Green, to drain it all the way down behind the Herzogs.
Do you want to
Somebody's trying
call
to reach out
John
to John.
and
think
Does
Kevin
anybody
might
have
wanna check
his,
it.
All right,
Here goes
here we
John.
go. Here's John.
Hello. Yes, hi.
Hey, John.
Patrick?
Hey, John. Patrick, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
John, I have a question. The drainage for this
Resolution 246.
Westbrook Lane Sewer
Westbrook
Project?
Lane Sewer Project, from what I understand, it's coming off of the water flow is coming off from around the Academy Green, correct? And then down behind the Governor Clinton Hotel?
Yeah.
Across
correct.
Westbrook?
That's the general area.
Okay, so now we're putting in a new circle within 40 or 50 feet of this area, maybe 100 feet, I'm not sure how long it is, but it's very close, and couldn't we tie into that new drainage system that we're putting in there instead of spending $170,000 or more?
You're talking about the DOT project?
Yeah, why can't we just tie in right there and then use that as a drain, then we don't have to spend all this money?
Well, the project we're doing right now probably does receive drainage from Academy Green, Governor Clinton area. It's passing through the general area of the lumberyard at Herzog's, then under the train tracks, and our project ends in the garden center at the main Herzog store. That's the part that we need to do, and there's I have not. There's always going to be drainage area to that from the Academy Green and Governor Clinton. I don't see a way that we would divert that back towards the 587 roundabout.
So, John, the work is being done at Westbrook Lane, right? Not near Academy Green?
Well, we gave it that title, but in reality, it starts at the end of Westbrook, where the Herzog's lumberyard is, where the actual lumber racks and so on are in the back, and then it passes under the railroad tracks and into the Herzog's Garden Center.
But this is runoff from the Academy Green, correct?
It's from that general area, yeah, behind Governor Clinton and so on. Everything up gradient from there, yeah.
So, but the point is, we're talking about when the state comes in to do the 587 roundabout there, we've talked about replacing the sewer system underneath that particular spot. So is there any real connection between that work and the work that you're talking about at
What you may
Westbrook?
be thinking of is the sanitary sewer betterment work that's being done in conjunction with the roundabout. That's sanitary sewer, not storm drainage.
Okay, so it's two different systems.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sanitary sewer work in conjunction with the roundabout is really just replacement in kind of aging infrastructure while they're in there.
Won't there be
Regular sewage?
regular
Sewage runoff?
runoff at the traffic circle? The new traffic circle?
There is, areas, and DOT is responsible for directing that. Probably, I'm not familiar with exactly where it drains to. It probably has a more direct connection to the Esopus Creek in the area of the 587.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. So why can't we just connect to that? And since it's probably just two or three
Well,
drain holes there, right? Probably 2 or 3 drain holes
and
there.
if we could collect, say, everything in the area of Academy Green and send it that way, there would still be other areas that we couldn't capture and send to that system. Further, and to add to that, DOT would have done all their sizing to accept just the drainage that's naturally already going there, rather than us adding many more acres of runoff to their system, which A, they would have to permit, and B, they would probably not be too keen to do so, because they're just designing for what they're anticipating drainage already.
So there's no way, John, there's no way
Even
that,
if we could do that, we'd still have the issue, say through the lumberyard, the lower parts of Westbrook that are below, that potential DOT system that still need to make their way under the railroad track and eventually to Kingston Plaza.
at a lower price though. Estimated lower
Yeah,
price.
It's a lower system, so short of using some kind of pump station, we wouldn't be able to get that area back to a DOT system.
That would it still cost, would it still be at the same cost if we were just to do that one part you were just discussing? I mean, you're talking about $435 now?
Yeah, I'm sure all of this would have been looked at.
Yeah.
The design does somewhat predate me, so didn't study it in tremendous detail, and that particular design was done by a consultant by Bernier and Larios.
Right.
But they would have looked at the contributing area in terms of sizing the piping that we'd be installing now.
Yeah, but probably at the time, was it discussion going on about this 587 roundabout?
I don't know. It was never really conceived that there could be a connection between the projects in that way, such that it would be a logical way to drain the water.
John, one other question. Have you already started this work from this October letter that we have here? It says you're going to go out to bid for this.
Yeah, the project is out to bid as of now. It was put out a couple weeks ago, and the bids are due December 17th.
So then it's no way, right? Because if we put this on hold, then you would have to rebid this, send this out to rebid.
Well, we don't. We could. I mean, if we do have something like 45 days after the bid opening to make an award, or to decline to make an award. But during that time, if the council has too many outstanding questions right now, if you prefer to table it, it's not going to hold up my bid and award.
It's not going
back
to.
to you guys in.
So would that give you
January.
enough? Would that give you enough time to find out from DOT if that's possible?
Yeah.
And what the cost?
If that's an outstanding question, we'll get all those answered and revisit it. I think the general question you're asking is there an alternative that should have been looked at? And not having been here when this thing was being designed 2-3 years ago, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm just speaking from a general familiarity of the area. It didn't seem feasible to drain that area back toward the roundabout.
Alrighty.
Ed has
I'll look
a,
into it.
well,
Hey, John, it's Ed. Could you speak to the actual location of the pipe install for this project?
Yeah, within the Herzog's lumberyard on the generally speaking, I guess that's the south side of the railroad tracks, and through that lumberyard and under the railroad tracks and into the Herzog's store garden center
Right, so
is the
everything,
location of the project.
right, so everything is going to be done to the left side of Westbrook Lane as you're coming down Westbrook Lane.
That's correct.
So it's,
So there's nothing close to 587.
No, it's quite a ways away.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
so then that's the other thing that comes up then. And it wouldn't be something that could just be easily connected to the 587 roundabout.
Just from going from my memory of the topography there, that would be an uphill. We're downhill of that system, so how, like I say, without using some kind of pumps,
To get it back
you're
up
not
to
going to
5.
get the stormwater from that area back towards the roundabout.
Windmills.
But again, is these questions that you could get back to us in 45 days? This would not hold up your bid.
Yeah.
They could,
No, it won't, because if we open the bids on December 17th, we can take, no action for 45 days and then award it on the 45th day if we choose. And by then, you will have had another meeting.
So we're going to do finance meetings between then and February 1st. That we could.
yeah, so but to the committee,
Okay.
on the table or not.
Any other questions for John?
Thank you, John. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks.
sir.
Sorry I couldn't have been there.
No
Sorry to
problem.
interrupt you.
Thanks.
So if there's no real reason not to vote on this tonight, then we can refer it back to committee. Patrick, do you want to make the motion?
Sure.
You have to bring it up. And so is everybody okay with doing that?
Just, so the specific question then is, can this be tied into the DOT
That's
and
what
the 587
Yeah.
project that they're doing? Is that the specific question that we're asking?
Yes.
Yes?
I mean, the way the engineer, John was saying, it doesn't seem like it
It's
sounds
feasible. It doesn't seem
possible.
like it's
I mean, it
feasible to
would
do that.
cost, I don't know, I'm comfortable voting for this tonight.
Yes, we need to pump it up the other
Correct,
direction.
correct. I say that's.
I mean, it's a good thought, but I'm comfortable
Yeah.
with John. I mean, I'm ready to vote tonight on this.
I mean, the reason that, Patrick brought up some questions and
It's
going
an
back to
excellent question.
2018,
Yeah, it's an
I
excellent
don't
question.
really know. And my thing is, maybe John does say that it can be hooked in. Who knows what the price might be?
You have to pump it up and then what DOT would be.
No, I don't think, no, it's from the Academy Green, you're not pumping it up anywhere.
Wait.
Oh, I'm
No, I
sorry.
was just saying, pumping it up, and then also, I'm sorry if I'm not using the right terms, but, and then also what DOT would charge us more. I mean, because this wasn't part of their project, and I'm assuming there's a lot of design work already into it, so.
Yeah.
I could,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm ready to vote on this, in favor of this tonight.
Patrick?
Yeah, but I mean, if it's really draining the Academy Green, that wouldn't be pumping it up. I think John's talking like if we were going to go down and then pump it up.
Well, we would
This-
still have to do something down there too, so then it would become kind of 3 projects.
Correct, because we still have to do
You
something.
still have
inside
the
Lumberyard.
DOT, then you'd have this, pumping the Academy Green
We
to
still have
the
to go through the
DOT,
plaza.
if that's even possible through DOT, and then also something down by Herzog's. So it'd end up turning into 3 projects.
Tony?
Well, Herzog's might not be our problem.
Yeah,
Sounds like it is.
It's our problem.
Why is it our problem?
Our line.
It's our line, it's city line, it's a
We
right
have
way
two
that runs
lines,
through
you
the
know, when
line.
it brings the stream in further down the area, it brings it to the creek, all the way it's got to go to the creek.
Okay.
My thing is, I mean, like I said, Patrick brought up a good question here, and that John didn't know we had anticipated these questions. And if he's saying that this is not going to affect the bids, he can still receive the bids in the 45, and that he would be able to come back to our finance and have some questions to this. I don't see what's the harm. And, it might come back and he says, yeah, this is going to cost way more than if we did it this way. And we say, okay, thanks for checking. Or he might come and say, you know what? I talked to new DOT, and yes, we might be able to hook this in, and this might be feasible for both parties. And so, I mean, that is the only reason I would suggest table, because it could come back and come back.
The vote on the floor and discuss it on the floor, so we can get
Yeah.
to the floor.
All right.
I mean, we could just,
So
we
you
can
got
have
7
this
minutes.
discussion on the floor.
Okay, yes, thank you, you are
Yeah.
correct, Jim.
All right. And good, we don't have anything difficult in the other 5 things here. The next one has to do with the fee schedule.
Sorry, Rennie.
Oh, 250?
248. We're
248,
gonna have to
yes.
send this back because I didn't catch this, but this is wrong. The resolution does not match the committee report. This is not what we voted on.
So then it's gonna have to be.
This is about, the resolution talks about truck traffic on Maiden Lane. The committee report is about alternate side parking on Maiden Lane.
And you wanted to know right.
Well, they're two different things. Because we talked about the truck, somehow there was a mix-up. Because we talked about truck traffic and said we weren't
Yeah, we
gonna do
never-
something.
yeah, we never voted.
But it got mixed up, so this isn't
So
correct.
You
We
refer it
can't-
back?
I don't think we, I mean, unless we amend it on the floor.
Wait,
but-
this,
Yeah, there's 2 resolutions.
What resolution is that, Andrew?
248?
Oh,
well, there's a weird thing here. It's
Yeah.
this old committee report.
Yeah, Charles Landy show.
well, this is the first, the resolution, unless I have something wrong, talks about in relation to parking traffic on the public streets, blah, 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 adding no truck traffic on Maiden Lane. But then there's 2 committee reports. One of them says amend city code to provide alternate side parking. And then the other resolution is to change the time for alternate side parking. So the resolution doesn't match the committee reports.
Yeah, that's all messed up.
I think it's too messed up to, I think we
That
just send
one's
this back.
5/26, 2011.
Yeah.
Well, that just shows when they changed it from 10 a.m. to 9 a.m. for that
Yeah, because
section.
we want to,
We wanted
No,
to,
that's the date of the committee.
Right, we want-
That's an old committee.
yeah, that's the old one, when they switched that from 10 a.m. to
But
9
the-
a.m., and we want to go back to 9 for all of it.
but the resolution,
But yeah, the resolution talks about
248
truck.
has nothing to do with what
That's
we
truck
talked about
traffic.
in the meeting to pass and what we voted on.
And there's no time sensitivity on this,
I don't think so.
right? Okay.
No, not to switch.
So what did they
So,
do?
send it back to committee.
I'll make a motion.
Great, thank you.
All right. Well, can we amend it on the floor? I mean, because really the
There'll be a
only
lot of
thing...
amendments.
Just to.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's incorrect.
I think we could just send it back to committee. I don't.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, we want to make sure we got stuff to do in January.
Fee schedule.
All right, so 250 is the fee schedule,
I'm gonna make this-
and we discussed 2 items in particular
Fee schedule.
relating to taxi cabs. Anybody want to make a change? I believe we got recommendation from the police. Patrick, you want to fill us in on the information you found,
Yeah,
or the response you got rather from the police department?
yeah, I spoke to Officer Marion, and let me just see my notes on that. Officer Marion, I'm sorry, I wasn't...
As I remember, he was okay with reducing both the taxi driver license fees
Yeah.
and the taxi company fees.
So we discussed it, I told him what we had talked about, and he said he thought what would be fair was a medallion fee of $400, which be the business fee, driver's license fee down to $25, and car inspection fee $50.
Did he give any reasoning for those numbers?
He just thought it wouldn't affect the...
Who was this, Patrick?
Officer Marion, his name is. He's in charge of this at the police department. And, I told him we were concerned about Uber and, making this competitive. And he did say that the cab companies are leaving town. And he actually said that we only have one cab company registered in town right now, when we used to have many more. And he thought maybe a change in this would entice them back.
Yes, Steve.
And one of the reasons we were looking at this, because this is one of the highest fees we have. I mean, it's higher than a plumber's license or an electrician's license. And we were just kind of wondering why it was so high. And Chief Tinty was here. He really wasn't sure you know. that
He wasn't
would have
here, he was on the phone.
volunteered To get some other answers. I mean, it just seemed a little out of line with the other license fees.
He also suggested that we take a look at the actual price that it costs for a ride in the city of Kingston. I think it's like $5.50. And he thought that that might be able to go up a little bit.
It sounds like there's a lot of things to discuss, but the whole point of putting a fee schedule was that we could pass like fee schedules and we could change individual items on that. So I think it would benefit us to pass the fee schedule as is and then bring up these points and try to make corrections to where we see areas that need to be fixed. Well, no, you don't have to. You can leave it as is, right? Because you're looking to change something on this, so you can do that. You can do that anytime.
You could do that.
Doesn't have to just be budget time. Doesn't just. That's why we went to a
You have to have
fee
something on
schedule.
the books to change.
But-
To your point.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, there's a lot of discussion, and I think, I mean, we have a minute before we have to be over there, and instead of rushing through this, I'm with Bill and pass this tonight, and then bring this to communication, and then we could amend this one specific area of the fee schedule.
So can you send a communication, Patrick?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
we'll talk about it
right
in
to the
January?
December finance committee.
Yes.
Change
Yeah.
the fee schedule.
Okay,
Okay.
excellent, all right.
Yep.
Just so we're on record, I'm in favor of moving the taxi driver license fee down to $10, but
We can talk about that again.
253 is the capital plan. So we've talked about that. I just want to note that that is what 253 is. And we talked too about moving a number of things over to being paid off via the fund balance. So this capital plan is actually somewhat different from the one that was originally proposed by the mayor. But again, this will allow us to reduce our fund balance to an appropriate level by shifting the spending this way. Is everybody okay with this?
Yes.
Yes, okay. 257 is changes to the budget. And this is where this includes a number of things. But several of them are related to the increasing the salary of the members of the Common Council. I don't know if you all got the email I sent around, but Alyssa printed out the email, which gives 4 different reasons why the current salary for Common Council older people is too low.
I didn't see it.
All right. So I can discuss this on the floor unless, does anybody have a problem with any of these changes? No. All right, so that's 257, and then the last one, 258, is the budget as amended. So that means we've got to pass 257 before we pass 258. Right, and so if anybody has any changes they want to make in terms of the budget, we have to do it now. We don't want to do it on the floor. Because then we got to call John Toohey, and it'd be a huge problem.
Good, I'm good.
Everybody good?
Yep, good.
All right.
John said.
How many seconds do we have?